Alright, we see my movie be akwaba. Na me mfa Bramega TV and platform we eso. Nyankopon in shisha obibia enim support am de maye and platform we eso. Abusia Andra Supreme Court echo asetena. Ni na efa the Re-collation echo so a yaka bia mami Jean Mensah se onti ase da because osusu se oman ne ye man osusu se Ghana ne ye dia inti de ope ina obey. Okay. Na Andra Supreme Court kwa asetena no ena mo quashing the resource Re-collation resource Appiah in the 4 constituencies including Tema West constituency Tesano I think say Kakui Central Soka. In fact, sa resource yana se sa verdict babonti NPP for nkrofobinum kra eni age ndi Appiah Kubi eya asante achim north emrashi bitweni na owura na ni age wo ho se say city no na say Re-collation resource no above no Supreme Court ultimate wo mu na sim na omo akwashe resource no abusia we ana Sam Jata George ningo pram member of parliament edema NDC amanyokuo no aba abontin na wo kiremu a de mami Jean Mensah ye ne de enimre biemu na mo twen na on the 7th and also on the 7th of on the 6th of January na dweno na wa see one win no and as we candidate and as we parliamentary we elect MP elector bra na omo de omo be match omo boot for boot e wo hodom because e was say omunya 184 to form a quorum in parliament but he say the omunya abro I think any MPP NDC 188 or so and the NDC for ye no in fact sorry NPP for year omu enam isi ni so ama afenyo maki ni abra oda wonda na ohwehwe isi na anadwo anwumbre ne ye wie nyina senka omewia mu no emfa yenkoti Sam Jata George conversation now having now uti nsemo it makes a lot of sense indeed. NDC they are ready to serve Ghana inti nsemo emfamra koba betwaso yankopon hira
at all. I think we have a guest on the line. Please hold on. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, man. Has just started. What's the way forward and for you?
Well, I think that JB has done justice to the transition and all. The 9 seats saga, I know that our base is really deeply worried about what happens to or appears to be in some instances pure criminality being perpetrated by persons who ought to know better at the Electoral Commission. I've seen a video of Bosman Asari where a journalist was asking him to show which law permits the Electoral Commission to re-collate. And he quotes Regulation 43 and 47 of CI 143 and I think Article 40 of the Constitution, none of which actually empower the Electoral Commission to do re-collation. I've seen the tweets from the Electoral Commission suggesting that in 2004 there was a re-collation again. That's factually incorrect. I've spoken to persons who were at the Electoral Commission at the time, directors at the Electoral Commission at the time, and they've been very clear on what happened. It was in Prue East. It was not a re-collation. There was no re-collation done at the time. And so what the Electoral Commission has done is illegal. It's in contempt of a Supreme Court injunction. And so all the persons who carried out that exercise are liable for contempt of court. And I believe that it's important that we lay down the gauntlet and set a precedent so that people do not abuse arbitrarily powers that have been given to them. In fact, the conduct of the Electoral Commission is what the Constitution warns about in Article 296, where it says that you will not use public power arbitrarily and capriciously. That's basically what you're seeing the Electoral Commission do. I mean, it's clear to everybody that in Obuasi East, for example, where that gentleman stood and fought two military men who were on an illegal assignment, and the people of Obuasi East voted for the NDC candidate. He was duly declared as parliamentary candidate elect, and then the Electoral Commission comes to Accra to try and re-announce or re-declare somebody else. That's illegal, and that will not be countenanced. You understand me? In Okaikwe North, and I've heard Bosman Asari, he stopped short of mentioning my name. I think that's cowardice. You know, if he is confident in what he's saying, I'm mentioning his name. He should be bold enough to mention my name. He claims that an MP was laid at his hands and at gunpoint and knife point forced their returning officer.
You have a gun and a knife.
To declare results in Okaikwe Central. First and foremost, Mr. Bosman Asari must know that he's not clothed himself in any glory or dignity in his conduct as Deputy Electoral Commissioner. From his irresponsible comments of saying that the NDC is a threat to our democracy, to his pure partisan behavior, even at IPAC meetings. I mean, and to suggest that Okaikwe Central, Mr. Bosman Asari should show Ghanaians evidence of the returning officer reporting to the Electoral Commission that he made those declarations under duress. Look, there are videos of me walking with the Electoral Commissioner. Yes. The Electoral Commissioner's name is Mr. Degenu, the returning officer for Okaikwe Central. His name is Mr. Degenu. He's alive. He's not dead. What they did at Tesano, they brought somebody who is not the returning officer.
Where was the returning officer?
He refused to show up. He said to them he will not be part of the illegality. And so go and see the declaration that was done. Look, and you see, they have circulated a video of myself and the returning officer. His picture is there. The video of him doing the declaration is there. Now go and take footage of the declaration of Patrick Boama that was done at Tesano and see if it is the same person. Because they have not disputed that the person who did that declaration of Baba Sadek is the returning officer. They claim he did it under duress. How is it that returning officer has now changed to a different person? The reason why they asked A.B. Bright's declaration to be brought back is they claim that a different returning officer did her declaration.
Yeah.
Now they have gone to find another person, not the returning officer, Mr. Degenu, Courage Degenu, to do the declaration. So that declaration of Patrick Boama is null and void and of no consequence. It's an illegality, and everybody involved. Look, the individual who went there on whoever's instruction to pretend to be the returning officer is a criminal.
Exactly.
Because what he's done is pure criminal. To pretend
to be somebody,
to be a public officer. Declaring an election when you are not. And I think that we must ensure that the law works for once to serve as a deterrent to people. So that's the Okaikwe Central issue. And yes, look, people say, oh, you did a declaration with 110 out of 141 polling stations. Absolutely, nobody is disputing that. But you see, as the NDC, we would not accept a situation where the NPP claim that they did not have their pink sheets, but they have scanned copies of pink sheets. You can only have a scanned copy when you have the original to scan. We demanded to see those scanned, the original copies of the scan. They didn't present them. Then the Electoral Commission brings master sheets. And in those 31 polling stations, you realize the handwriting is the same. How do you expect me? And people say, what was my business there? I was there as an agent of the party. We had completed in Ningo Pram Pram on Sunday. This activity at the regional office was on Monday. And the party is at liberty to determine who becomes their representation. Exactly. At the time I was there with Peter Boama Otukuno, Fred Owari and Frank Davis were present.
In their capacity
as what? For Patrick Boama. They were allowed to be there. So when people say, what was Sam George's business there? I was there as my party's agent.
Excellent.
I had legal locus there.
Yeah.
I had accreditation from the Electoral Commission to be there. The regional director, Madame Pinkra, actually, when we pointed out the consistency of handwriting on the 31 master sheet, was so shell-shocked, she said she wanted the police to immediately investigate the matter because this was criminal. Her words. So how do you expect me, as an agent, to accept 31 fraudulent master sheets, collation sheets, declaration forms? I won't. And that's why we said we will not accept them. And Mr. Fred Owari and Frank Davis, myself and Otukuno had a meeting there where we agreed that given the challenges with those 31, once the 110, there were no challenges, we should proceed with that. Anybody who had a challenge could then go to court, because the only way to determine what really went on, there are two routes in those 31 polling stations, was to go back into the ballot boxes and recount the ballot papers in the ballot boxes, or to rehold the election in those 31 polling stations. But the Electoral Commission does not have the power to do so. Only a high court has the power to declare any of those two directions. And so what you do is you declare what is not in contention. If someone is aggrieved, they go to court, and the court will give a direction on what to do. It does not lie in Jean Mensah's mouth or Bosman Asari's mouth to determine what to do. In the case of Abi Bright, declaration has been done. Collation of all the pink sheets had been done. She had won. Now you claim that the person who did the declaration is not the right person. Okay, let the right person come and do the declaration. And then you claim that you are now manufacturing your own figures again. That will not hold. In the case of Ablekuma North, Rabina Oben, Appiah, who is the NPP candidate, shows up there. 281 polling stations. She does not have a single pink sheet. Not even one. Yet she has 281 scanned pink sheets. No fiscal pink sheet. Again, the Electoral Commission at the time said they were attacked and their pink sheets got destroyed. They had 160 pink sheets that they had already entered onto their collation system before the attack. So what we did was we agreed that since there are three parties in the collation, the Electoral Commission, the NDC and the NPP, at any point in time where two of the three parties can agree on the numbers, we would accept it. So once the EC had 160, we had our pink sheets. We had 245 of our pink sheets out of 281. The rest got damaged. We had the fiscal pink sheets. So what we will do is we will verify the 160 the EC had. They can also use their scan to verify, but we will verify with the EC. So we verified the 160 from the EC and then continued to do another 56, which brought us to 59, which brought us to 219 polling stations based on our pink sheets. Anytime we stated our figures, the NPP also checked their so-called scan and said they agreed with them. We took a break on Monday at 8:45 p.m. Now, if Bosman Asari says that the presiding officer in Ablekuma North was also under duress, he's called Mr. Obeng. Mr. Obeng left. If I had put him under duress and he stayed there till 8:45, we closed and he went home to Kwashiman. Slept, woke up in the morning, and picked the vehicle and came back again the following day.
And he was still under threat.
What kind of duress is that? If the man was under duress and went home, why did he come back? He came back and declared the results because he said he would not accept pinches. And you see, I must commend Mr. Obeng because he showed up at Tesano. And when he showed up at Tesano, and the NPP and the region and the EC at National were compelling him to accept the NPP scan copies, he said that's not what they trained him to do. If they have scanned copies, he wants to see the fiscal pink sheets because scanned copies can be altered. And so where we stand today, I hear there's a meeting today. If the NPP has their pink sheets, they should bring them. If they don't have their pink sheets, they either declare based on what has been done. Anybody who has a challenge should go to court. Let the court then determine that we should go back, and if we declare counted 219, the remaining 62, if the court says that we should go back and hold the election in those 62 polling stations, because those ballot boxes are here have been damaged in a fire at the Kwashiman school. So there are no ballot boxes to go to. So if the EC says that, look, 62, if the court says that the 62 polling stations can affect the status of the election, you call a re-election in those 62 polling stations. And then but to think that they would declare people to come there, we will resist it and oppose it. So I think that where we sit, the next parliament has a cardinal and critical role to play. We've been given an overwhelming mandate.
Just before you go into that, these 9 seats, and out of the 9, 7 have been declared for the 6 or 7.
I think 7. 7 have been declared as 2 outstanding
in favor of the NPP. Are these guys going to be allowed to register for the next parliament?
As far as I'm concerned, again, I can't speak for the parliamentary service. The parliamentary service does the registrations. But one thing I know, and one thing I am sure of, is that on the 9th of the 6th, when we meet to elect the speaker, those 7 will not be allowed to swear the oath.
Okay.
And this is a solemn promise the NDC group in Parliament, the supermajority, is making to the country. We will not allow that illegality to continue. No, they will be stopped until the matter is properly determined before they come in there. Because you see, we need to understand that people cannot. Afenyo Markins cannot arrogate to himself the decision to determine who becomes a member of parliament, going around and working in cahoots with Jean Mensah and Bosman Asari to do what they want to do. No. We would stop them from being sworn in on the 9th of the 6th until that matter is properly determined by a court. Because don't forget, that declaration, as far as we are concerned, is illegal. It's null and void. Because there was an injunction from a Supreme Court.
Exactly.
There was an injunction application filed at the Supreme Court, and so the EC should have respected that. We will not be party to that illegality and allow it to continue. No. And so we are committed to ensure that on that day, look, we need to form quorum in Parliament. You need 184. In fact, less than, we need 94.
No, but some George, I listened to the Honorable Freddie Blay, with all due respect, a senior statesman, a very senior-most lawyer of great repute. Why not? Even if it's 1 seat, even if we had 200 seats, once that seat was lawfully ours, and exactly. In that election, let's read the room. Beyond the legalities, every single Ghanaian intended to have an NDC parliamentary candidate.
Yeah.
Simple. And I think that we ought to go after those seats no matter the circumstances.
No. We would,
and I'm happy that today, for example, the Supreme Court will be hearing the parties again.
Yes.
Let's see what comes after that.
Exactly.
Each and every seat belonging to us lawfully will be accounted
for. Look at Dome Kwabinya.
Yes.
Eli Glim Akurugu has fought and won that seat.
A good fight.
A very good fight. Look, and they say that there are issues with 3 polling stations.
Can you imagine?
Just 3 polling stations.
Ghana's largest constituency.
Out of
yes.
almost over 300 polling stations. Now, you know the interesting thing. If you look at the voter turnout, if you look at the voter turnout in that constituency, and even in those polling stations, and you even give the totality of those 3 polling stations to Mike Okwe, Eli will still beat him.
That's it.
So why are you holding her up? You see, and for me, this goes to establish why I'm grateful to God that the presidential, he listened to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's prayer.
The gap should be wide.
The gap should be wide. Because imagine that the gap wasn't wide.
Can you imagine what this election?
But before that, just imagine that we hadn't agreed to count the presidential ballots.
Ballot first. Yes.
That is all they were waiting for. You know, look, on this occasion, Sam George, I keep telling you, God made sure that every step of the way,
He guided us.
He guided us. It's as simple as that.
It is. I mean, this country would have been thrown into chaos
yes.
by the Electoral
Absolutely.
Commission. Because even with this white gap, it took them how many hours? Almost 96 hours to declare.
Yes, even after the plan.
And even after that,
Yes.
What they're doing.
Yes.
you know.
And I just don't get it. Jean Mensah, Bosman Asari, and the rest. Exactly what are they looking
and
for?
one thing that broke my heart was that, when we even tried to criticize the work of the EC, I know some women who took it as a very personal thing, even claiming that it was like women.
Where were they when Charlotte Osei was on the chopping box? Where were they?
I was really sad. I thought of all the feedback, I'll be the last person. The issue is about the work of the EC.
Yeah.
The work of the EC, the output of the EC. You have a CI 127, CO motto, dictating the regulations, guiding the elections. The Re-collation and things you're doing now, if I apparent that word doesn't even appear.
It doesn't appear. There's no Re-collation anywhere. It's
Absolutely.
an illegality.
So what exactly are they doing?
It's a complete illegality.
Those actions and
Yes, that is
inactions
my
could
point.
plunge this
And in
country
2020,
into chaos.
they
And
made-
you say because she's a woman,
Yes.
we shouldn't talk
Nobody
about
should
it.
talk about it.
No,
What does that
no,
mean? So the question is that, what are we talking? So why, when women are given responsibility, we ought not to criticize the
No, at
output?
all, because they are women.
Thank you.
And I disagree.
No, that's wrong. And I think that, look, where we sit as a country, we need to be thankful for the grace and goodness of God upon our land, and for what He's done for us. But I honestly believe that we owe it to the Ghanaian people. And look, you just need to read social media. Ghanaian people expect that the NDC will not cede those seats.
But it's not a
Just like
gift.
that.
Why should we be seating them? It's
Absolutely,
a contest.
because I live in Okaikwe Central, and look, the people who've walked up to me and said, "Sam, this is the first time we've ever voted for NPP, for NDC.
NDC.
Yes.
This is the first time we've given you this
Many
seat,
people, yes.
and we expect you to fight for it with everything you
our
have.
vote.
Protect our votes.
Everywhere you
know,
walk.
because and people see that as a sign that we're ready to also protect the public purse
Exactly.
and go after those who've looted the purse, because they feel that if what we've given to you can even protect, how can you go after those who've looted the purse? And so this,
We
for
owe
me,
it to them.
it is a given that it's not negotiable that we owe it to the Ghanaian people to go back and get those seats lawfully, because they were lawfully won. We will not allow the gerrymandering and the arm twisting that happened in 2020 that took 8 seats. In 2020,
Away.
8 seats were taken away from the NDC in similar manner.
And I disagree when people simply say that, oh, you people have 180 plus seats. Why can't you just let this go? We are not letting go.
No.
We are protecting
It's a
what
question
is
of
ours.
law.
Yes.
It's a question of fact.
Yes.
It's a question of principle.
Yes.
And it's a question of what must not be allowed to stand if it is an illegality.
Yes.
That one will not be counting us. And I
And-
think we must accept that there is every reason to go after what is right. There's precedent. They've held other parliamentarians in abeyance for 4 years, for the whole term. We are very ready and poised to do so. You see, Sam George, all I ask is that every single Ghanaian voter should do what is right and lawful.
Exactly.
And trust the process.
That's it.
all.
That's it.
That's it. We owe it as a duty. We cannot let the Ghanaian and on this one, the public sentiment is aligned with our position
Entirely.
that we must go for the seats that were given to
Very
the NDC.
important. And even when
It's-
we post on social media, the last time when those seats were declared, I went posted, comrades, relax, whatever, we are more than them. Go and read the comments.
I mean,
people simply do not want to
people
listen.
don't want to
what
listen.
we are
People
saying.
think that
all they need is those seats.
Because Obi, you look at Obuasi East, that gentleman who stood up to the soldiers.
Exactly.
His
Anything could have
family,
happened
he
to
could have,
him.
those weapons were life.
Yeah.
That's how much the base and the rank and file of our party and ordinary Ghanaians fought to give us those seats.
In Adenta, there was a similar situation. It was ordinary citizens who literally
who
prevented
rose.
them.
So
from
you
running
cannot
up with them.
you cannot take the blood and toil of Ghanaians for granted. I mean,
It just will not
it won't
happen.
happen. It won't happen.
Anyway, let's
And you
read-
know, the entire process of this election, Obi, was an entire repudiation of everything Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
And on that occasion, nobody was willing to take any of that. I think that those seats are lawfully ours, We must fight to retain him. All I say is that please, everybody, calm down. Trust the process, and everything is being done.
Inti Sam Data George Ningo Pram Pram Sam Nortey Jata George Bima Mwa Odono Odini se Sinibo Ekase se eye LGBTQ ene bejatum ene bema IMF anasa America ombema e visa ndie enko no onjintum omundina ene visa. We one of the bravest, one of the bold speaking member of parliament okasa pa okasa nene kasa bi obekam yanso no sebi ejina brani and nyansa ewo electoral commission mami Jean Mensah won se ubi wano hu de on kan kire mami weyo eti mami hu sense sayaba omo conversation na omo having baby ana ye mesre pa baby Dr. Muhammad Bumia so open wide gap mama gap on kese gap wide gap eno so na Ghana for ahweso ede mo Bumia o mama na wide gap Ghana you can be sad in this country in fact so Bumia ensemo kan no Ghana for medamase minjine Bumia nemu na medamase akubon show bibia se botimi aye Bumia pede de amana na mama no wide gap between him and between NPP and NDC no botimi amana from 38 watching mu yes pa and makachi MDC for NPP for say don't dare to bring Bumia again modini banhwia 30% kwa bunya mimi kan yo because Bumia obewi poto se obi ohwe bia o kai se mekan se Bumia bewi poto obewi poto we tese wonya kra no be 40 I said it here mekan wa se Bumia mudina bai gena na do ayi Bumia obewi poto yenye profit but if you analysis if you the Ghana for ye ni Ghana for ni namo me mega me maso me masa yenam yeni boy say we have what you say it in the Ghana for eka yenim the Ghana for ede eka wase into go for Bumia ba masa you are what digging your own grave 2028 MPP for me can be biachram mo say mo win election on 2028 mundampi Bumia simple. That's the only thing I can say. One damp Bumia. You people should damp Dr. Muhammad Bumia. One dampino. Simple as ABC. One dampino. Because he is not a presidential material. He is not a presidential material. And there's no way Ghanaians will vote for Bumia. I'm telling you. Enti Momo Shasi na mudi tribal. We didn't cremo for Mudimu, we did Zungu Mudimu, and the smoothness level. Yeah, can't go for Mudo so Kuma, a Christopher. But you people started the Jadam, religious politics, no, and a Christopher so we say, oh, Samu, and you're fine. You have him for more numbers, Ukruma, and a Christopher so shall say, Ombeding, Ombe. Ka say a really Christo ni neighbor, really a Christopher. It was in background. Okay, yen trouble makremu ni ukruma. What you say? Enti Bumia de masa yen tribal politics, yen religious politics. Under this fourth republic, there is no way a member who say kremuni be so, and it won't happen. Yen tribal politics. But the issue here is Bumia in person is incompetent. But you know be an need for share. Or yeah, no matter where the person comes from, on the Ghana for Pom Betwaman. But Bumia, Mumame gap, Mumfastia, no mammy. Eh, na Munipa in Chama win to me. Munipa Chama win to me. Sami oko bokina. Chema untumi. Mitizo kasa untumi TV so achi Oto ono no botinko. Nyankopo ya adoma wachina I declare and I decree but me will be so. Hey masa. Oh. Ukura chema untumi nyesho mi suspect o nyesho so otumo baumia because of napo. Sɛ na munim sɛ chama untumi oni napo nya fine. Na munim o. Okay. Interview na ɛkɔɔ so a di baumia ho adanseɛ. Ghana politics pɛsiro ai ɔman bɛn koraa ni na sɛ bi yɛmfa bibi seriously. Ukoyi chama untumi sɛ regional chama ɛbɛyɛ na asantefoɔ aba abɛto aba. Chama untumi as a regional chairman ɛbɛyɛ den ɛna asantefoɔ aba abɛto aba. Asantefoɔ anyamo a nipa odi mo anim no sɛ bi onim deɛ ɔyɛ enti no there is nowhere wobɛnya development. Nkasa mu se mense we ti asante mamu na ye na asante no te kokɔ so Appiah onana ebu din de kasem na nka nana atutu ne ntoma eti edwom na ojiji sika e de ye konfa no chi teaching hospital ade who born dog Simon Semensen wote 47 MPs esi asante mamu na nana nkasa ojiji sika na ojiji sika nso na onya no de kokra niema na Masin season wo habo port. Hey. Before my biu. Pia o munji mutu my bi. Nka momo mfiri so poto okra nka sebi nka Ghana no. Eni ne nka ma hijack Ghana nyina. Hey, nkufo nka mo mfiri so poto nka eni ne nka ma hijack Ghana nka me be mo papa. Nka nkufo yi omo wini election yanka. Nka kro nka wi e bitu afiri Ghana. Me na e wo mitirim kufo win election na the next thing is umbe humi na mini Ghana. Yes, because the hardship was so much. Too much. And once the BBI is stable. And once a nimu he omu sikano na omu hai omu sikano wo. Sikano wo a umbeti mi release. Ama nimu mo ye fuama ye. But kwa benani eshe kwa benani ataso. Eshe kwa benani ataso. Ebeden omaina kudenim. Ebeden na omaina akudenim. What you say? Eti ye kan biu. NDC for. Subani na mpanyinfo bebi se bia sebi ana se koda ase awu ye no. Inti kuma nkoda ase bio. Inti kuma echiri se bia no. Eni ya NPP for ye Ghana for ye hu ye omo hiana se omo hu ye Ghana for hi no. NPP for don't try and you know it. And this minam ne moka say sikadie waste of public resources. Taking public government properties, squandering of money, wasting resources. Sadino enama and arrogance. And in some funka sebi omuka de chire enama ye dibria ye tu motise sebi pancheno. Enka hwane kacho say nanado. Nanado. Guinea president upon we are right. Wabe sire ye private jet. Nanado. Enem baby. Eka say ye private jet ninye. Adenye wuntimi njware embaba nemu emyisi. Ewu wuntimi. Hey nana. Utinti yesen nana. Can you compare your height to Guinea president upon we are? I just say your upon we are there. It's time to be corrected. Eti nanado kuhani private jet ane bo sumbo. Sen. Wana will be 15,000 euros. It's time to be corrected. 1 hour, 15,000 euros, or spend it 3 days, even more than that. Just calculate it for 72 hours. How much will you get? Sesika we na ke bitim this kwadan. Then time free teachers ninjine yin kwanada bontin. Ya kwanye taxes ebu ye kon na nado edwade bi na ochinchin ne ho na osa. Asem papa bi amati ni si oyi. Asem papa bi amati ni se oyi. Me cry sorry not to do say oyi, because na wonye yisika na wa grab no personal si oba be protecting no na wachi person na the bottom. I will protect the public purse. Say the na person shi the bottom. Intina nyomo otu one say asem papa bi amati ni say oyi. Because na wati asem papa na wati asem de Ghana for ya tam sika twitwiri die amano. Nanado why can it be? A yo prosperity will indeed judge you. Ukache Ghana for say prosperity will judge us. So Nanado, it will judge you before it comes to Ghanaians. Prosperity will judge you. Prosperity will judge Nanado before it comes to Ghanaians. Wanyo de bidi Ghana. Ye to Galamsi walk on now and now. If I take Galamsi, I will put my presidency on the line. You fight corruption. That's the brother pa akipi hundreds, thousands of dollars, 100,000s of cedis, euros, pounds. I want him pass it. Now see me fighting me fighting corruption. Yeah, fighting corruption. It Charles Bisu. Can see me for me on the way you need. You fighting corruption. No matem sika. $12 million. Paluku dam. Sasi kan bomi ni di allegedly omusi bomi ni di ko no ani kurum onse abano mutuma pa kurum bomi onse mutuma next time that's it. The project mo se fa ku kurum na omuso benefit ya ne sika na wati aso Larry Bows ahwan se ni sister e wo wale ho bo di sika sa ku fado fa yibi na National Cathedral yekusie yibubu bangaros gu koto judge for dan gu chese emu ye niema basa enela General Hospital a obubu gu ye so mo di besi the administration block for National Cathedral na akaho la General Hospital obubu ye so mo di besi administration block e di ama National Cathedral ene mo bubu se sika na ashe. And do you know how many people are, and I say the I don't know. Do you know how number of people are at our hospital? A several have no knowledge. Necessity as another. If you come and then go for time sika, somebody be clean up bank clean up exercise. Move sanitize a banks. You need to say no move for banks. Papa Kwasindum, the bank are now over 304 branches across this country. Do you know number of people are now employ Mutu Moka? Mugu Papa Bank. And you are there shouting, breaking the eight. Always is the FNB. Check the personality. I want honey mass. Pa de Yankupon de Mofo, Yanka movie, you say your company in a good one, Danabakum, will be a gene to 15 came hot lashes. Promo to Pamam who say yes. Yamfa nipa ma wo tumi asebi yamfa endandan ye ho yamfa enye sebi akohwisem Tomia Nje kupa de wa ye bio wayi bi papa akufado wayi Ghana fo bi na fe die ewo ni tirima ne se obeka fon de akire Ghana fo ya hemfo ahemfo awopɛ akudwa na kwotena mo nan so ubu nkoto bi dida fom ahemfo no ne wati atua wo mo so o da wo mo so mo sorry before so be chi wo na dumisa nana nebu kakatiniza the boy wa Judin piao. So that is Mega TV for you. Had more analysis, you go into details, you know dim combo the Southie and channel. That is me. Subscribe what I say for comment it to me. Follow the Wayibi. And we are praying say Mahama. Onunsu Yankupon Bekana Kumano Beya the papa. Na wambrena wase ama Yankupon Cheche no yeno no sudi di timpe no pa. Udi Mahama dia udi nchede nkofu di omwate. Nchede nkofu di watem. Nchena Ghana fu di watem di papa. Wabana mwedi daho. Atamfono doso. But Provincial will say you have come back for good. You have come back for better. You have come back for change. What you say? Enti mamemfa wisi. Hano your number one authentic platform Mega TV. Subscribe for latest update. For comment it too. Like it madi mame share na fufuro enye biwe. And sema asebi nkofo bi take omo for so many years of intimate kana hade medwudwe mama. Medwudwe bibim yensuro bia. Ati say kana kwa cho. Ghana ni mi obi ade a. Kame kuma kura uko. Iti Mega. E kana kwa meje good legacy. Chile bi akaza na mehwe platform bi akwai fen Mega kwa no ye dwuma masa yenyangu zizi yo asahwe na wu kufado krati ase. Anyway, so that is it. Me for we see Yankopon inshira me ma biche ba for United States of America ma Yankopon yokese. Amro ye bi o UK Yankopon inshira ma me. Baby ekoti ensemi. I think they alleged an alleged show so no, nye Pan Africa. Inti credit in the baby me free no. Anyway, odi ma me fa we si mo fanche me source no producer me fire producer wan fa ma me sira mo fanche me producer why na o twi free the no mami hu producer fa ma me inti ebusia fo mo fanche me bi ekuti Sam Jetta George ene ne nkro for free no minim nipa kro minim station kro but mo aknya asasem inti no mo bet trendy. Yankopon show bibi amakra bye bye.